Good morning. How is everyone? This morning, I am talking with Crystal from C Fit Revolution. And I am just waiting for her to join in. Happy Monday, everybody. And Crystal has had a life in the modeling world as well. And so it's perfect for Model Monday. I'm excited. Let me see. How was everyone's weekend? Oh, she's here. Oops. Hello.
Hey Beth, how are you?
Good. Okay, everyone, I'm going to shut the comments off so we won't be distracted, and the requests too. Oh, wait, did I do it? Turn on. Yeah, okay, got it. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm good, although I'm noticing how exhausted I look right now.
Uh,
I'm
uh,
like, wow, that's really something. Yesterday, I managed to pull off a Zoom for us lipedema ladies that was like, 2 seconds in the making.
mm-hmm.
And as it turned out, there was 23 of us, I think.
I saw
And
it yesterday. I mean, this morning about the Zoom pictures that
oh,
look
the little Zoom picture. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we went from 5 o'clock here until we got off a few minutes before 9.
wow.
Crazy.
Really?
Yeah, so good. So everybody, had a minute to talk and introduce. There was probably, well, maybe more than half, but at least half of us, had physically knew each other in person from some way or another, or
Mm-hmm.
at least I knew half of them at least in some way or another in person. Um, so that was kind of funny, and it was cool. So it's everybody has such a story, right? Everybody has such
Very
a
telling.
and nobody has it's nothing is a straight line, and nobody has just one, like nobody has. I mean, I'm virtually positive there's nobody in the world that just has lipedema. Like I mean, there's just it's just such a multitude of stuff, right? So anyway, so we, and so to listen, to listen to all of that is just, it's mind blowing, really. And basically, the knowledge from, you know, all those people is crazy because everybody knows too much. I mean, like I truly believe there cannot. I don't think there's another disease that has this much knowledge because there's so little out there that people just do so much to try and help themselves and get answers, and luckily are fighters in some way that uh don't take it for granted, don't, they keep trying, they keep fighting, and so anyway, so it makes for a very interesting group. And we did have one professional, Linda Ann Kahn is she runs a day spa and does she's a certified lymphatic therapist, and does a lot with aromatherapy and lots of alternative things, meditation and all kinds of stuff. But she herself has lipedema and has um, like for 35 plus years she has maintained like a stage 1 because of her diligence. And so yeah, yeah. Like I think at some point in early in her life, she's from South Africa, and she came and she discovered bagels. And so she she gained 35 pounds in her entry to the US, and then at some point was like, yeah, no, that can't work out. And so she worked very hard to get rid of that, and then has maintained that for all these years because of all these methodologies that she's put in place. And so, yeah, pretty cool.
Wow, I definitely need to be educated a lot more on it because the specialists that I have encountered, some know, some don't. So
Yeah, yeah.
this
And
month is
it's really so few and far between that really are specialists. Like we were even having part of the conversation that in the US, there's so few people that actually diagnose lipedema,
right.
like that are actually just a physician that can diagnose.
Yeah.
So there's really, you can count them on two hands. And then, probably even the number of surgeons that are actually legitimately trained and have experience, probably, you can count those on two hands about just about as well. It's not really a big area, but I do think it's up and coming. I think that I'm not sure if you heard all the news yet about that the biomarker has been found by Dr. Stanley Roxon in at Stanford. That got announced last week. And then also Dr. Herbst, who has been out of Arizona, but she's in the flux at the moment.
Okay.
She has just concluded that it is a connective tissue disorder. And so it's very lymphatic related, and which came first, chicken or the egg kind of thing. So all of that is just coming into the picture, and I think it will place a lot of change on how things are looked at. And they just also, I think it was now probably 2 weeks ago, they just submitted the first standards of care for lipedema,
Okay.
and the diagnosis is going to, or the diagnosis code is going to be released in the 2022 diagnostic. I think it's every 4 years they redo the directory, and so I think it will come in the, I don't know, DSM-4 or something like that. So anyway, so there's lots of hope because, then once there's a diagnosis code, then maybe, people will learn about the disease, and the insurance companies are starting to, really
A little
take a,
more.
yeah, yeah. So,
That
so I
would be
think those two findings right now have really, people can now go to a doctor who doesn't know anything and be
mhm,
like, look this up. Like, here's where you find it, here are the papers, here's all the other stuff that they've cited, and whatever. So
yeah, so it's really interesting because I was actually talking to a group of people on Zoom. We had a big conference earlier last week, and as I was talking about lipedema, um, one of the healthcare professionals on there, she admitted, she's like, I am a healthcare professional and I've never heard of it. So while you're talking about it, I'm looking it up,
right.
and she saw the percentage of women who actually have this disease.
Yeah, it's crazy. I
Yeah,
think last week they were touting, I guess the number has really been about 17 million in the
yeah,
US. Like that's been a constant number, but they were talking about that it's probably likely more 19 million, and then that is really just those, that's only the people that are diagnosed that know anything about it,
exactly,
you
exactly.
know? I mean, I was saying I went to Williamsburg, Virginia, 2 summers ago, and I was walking around that, couple of days we were there, touristing, and I could not believe, because I live in Los Angeles, so people
Right.
don't look like this in Los Angeles. I was like, wow, this is like a good 80% of the women here were,
Yeah.
like whether they were a stage 1 or a stage, 3, they've gotten rid of, there's no such thing as a stage 4 now. There's
Mhm.
only that would be called a whole nother thing. It's its own category. It's just plain old lipolymphedema, because that's when the lymph gets involved as well. And so they're not calling that another stage. That's just another aspect, I guess.
Gotcha. I understand.
So anyway, so tell us about you. So I don't even know if I started off and said, this is Crystal from CFit Revolution here on Instagram. And she is a guru of fitness for us lipedema girls and inspiration of the wazoo. I thought that she was very inspiring before COVID hit, when she would be in the gym and she would be working with her trainer and her people and all that, get it done kind of stuff and battle ropes and slam balls and all these kinds of things, right? Nothing unturned. But then when we got to COVID and she starts doing all the same stuff in the street, then that was like, okay, people, nobody has any excuse. But I would sit in my house and I would watch. It would be like, we got a big street in front of my house, just like it.
That's so funny.
For June, I was like, okay, enough is enough. And I don't know, you probably haven't seen any of my workout, but in
I've seen some.
June, on Wednesdays and Fridays, I did a workout with two different people. And the first one was with Karen, who also has lipedema and 900 other things. And she has transformed her body from 200 pounds higher to where she's at now. And she she's like, do leg lifts. And I was like, okay, and I'm doing them. And I was like, wait a minute, I have weights on my legs. Like, and during the whole time I have been, it was like 2 months, I was like all annoyed with myself because I was never ordering the leg. I wanted to get ankle weights so
Uh-huh.
that I could go walk or something, like, because I was like, I'm usually in the gym doing leg weights, right?
Right.
And so I was like, well, I can't do any of that. Like, what good is an ankle weight going to do? So I was like, oh, never mind. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm a walking gym. I didn't
Yeah.
know. I didn't know. I mean, for all these years, you would think I should know this, but I didn't know. So it was like, oh my God.
Attention.
Yes.
Now
So
you're in
anyway,
leg weights. I hope you're actually doing your leg lifts.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, so this has been a good little start, 2 days a week. And now July, we're going to do just 3 days a week. And just care, and it's not going to be instructive as much. Like, we were trying to be instructive during June
Hmm.
and work up. Now we're just going to go for it, and people can join in the workout how they want or not. So anyway, it was pretty funny though. And then on Friday, I did my final workout with Daniel, who's really a personal trainer, but has a lot of lipedema clients in Chile. And he had me do 100 squats. So I was fine. I did them great. It was all good until Saturday when I started moving around and I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So the good news is that, because I kind of have junky knees, the good news is that it didn't impact my knees. But let
Hmm.
me just tell you, those thighs, holy smokes. So I've been spent the past 2 days trying to work that out. Oh my gosh,
Did you
really.
feel
Talk
your
about
glutes?
no pain, no gain.
Did
Hmm?
you feel your glutes and your booty? Squeezing your booty. That's where
Yeah,
you feel it when you're doing a squat
yeah,
because you're
yeah,
squeezing.
yeah. Yeah, so pretty funny. Anyway,
That's
okay,
that's
so tell me all about you.
okay. Um, I don't even know where to start. Basically, let's just say I have been always, since about high school, a plus size girl, and but I also
So do you
knew.
think that puberty brought that on?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure. And now that I'm learning more and more about lipedema, that it may be hereditary. It could have been, I could have had it then and not known.
Yeah.
Um, I just know because I tried to play basketball and I got hit in the face with the basketball in high school. I was like, all right, that's.
I'm done.
And then I always knew though starting at age 6, that I wanted to be an actress.
Mhm.
Um, my first gig actually was Sesame Street when I was
Oh,
6.
cool.
Yes.
Oh my God, I have chills. That's great.
I always knew that that's what I really wanted to do. But as I was getting older and getting bigger, I was like, am I really going to be able to do this? I went to college and I studied theater and I studied videography and camera work and all. And I just knew I wanted to follow Brooke Shields. Okay.
Okay.
Brooke Hills did the thing where she's like, I'm gonna go to Princeton, I'm gonna become a model, then I'm gonna go and become an actress. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna follow that way, and tried to go to Princeton, and I got accepted but couldn't afford to go. And I said, well, at least I'm gonna be an actress. So I stayed home and I went to a university in my hometown. And
Did
when
you
I
grow
graduated,
up in New York?
I'm sorry,
Did you grow up in New York?
I grew up in Maryland.
Okay, okay.
I grew up in Maryland. Um, and I knew that when I graduated, I was going to go to California, and I'm going to go. And my second year there, I'm going to get my Oscar, and everything's going to be just wonderful. Well, none of that happened. I did
Best
go,
laid plans.
huh?
The best laid plans.
Oh my gosh, you can plan all day, but hey,
Hmm.
things change, and things changed dramatically for me. Um, I went on and I just started working behind the scenes in different casting companies. And there was one that I latched onto, and we became great friends. And pretty soon, she taught me everything there was to know about being a casting director. And I became a casting director. So for 20 plus years, that's where I was. I was living on the road 300 days a year, finding some of the top actors, models on that would grace covers of Vogue, GQ, Victoria's Secret, wherever. And my job was to go to these little small towns and in parts of our country and different parts of the world and find these beautiful people. And I noticed that I still wanted to do it, you know. So when I was living in LA, because I lived in New York and LA for quite some time, and when I was living in LA, I would go to tons of auditions and everything. But back then, Hollywood was very, very open about what you looked like. They did not care. So I would always hear your skin's too dark, or you're too big, or I don't think we're going to be able to find clothes that would fit you. And, they were very upfront about it. And there was this one time that I was in Vancouver and I got a call from a friend who's a casting director. She's like, and I won't mention the casting company, but it's a very huge casting company that we all know. And she's like, Crystal, I need you to come back tomorrow. I need you to audition for this role. And I did. I got on the plane. I got there. I went and auditioned and I did good. And they said, we need you to come back a little later on today for a screen test. Screen test is like the next thing right before you get the job. And
Right.
so this was a huge movie. I was to play Whoopi Goldberg's daughter. And so I go back. I'm sitting in there just waiting to audition. I'm sitting next to Natalie Cole at this time. And I just couldn't believe I'm sitting next to this celebrity. And I go in and I do this amazing audition. Amazing. I just knew that I had in the bag. The producer was actually from Maryland too. So I'm like, okay, good. We got this. Come to find out, I found out from the casting director, she's like, Crystal, you didn't get the job. And the reason why you didn't get the job is because
You're too
you're a
pretty.
little bit bigger than what they wanted. And it really made me do some thinking. I had to pack up and move back home because I was just at that point, after all these auditions, after all this running around, I was just devastated. And I just came back home and I just started doing some work here at home. And then I found out about 10 years ago that I was pre diabetic.
Mm.
And that put a kibosh on everything. I was like, okay, it's time to put your health in check. So do what it is that you have to do. So one of my friends who was over at Discovery Channel, she's like, Crystal, come on, let's go. I'm moving to France and let's start your weight loss journey over there. So we went to Monaco and we took two producers with us, and we wanted to not only do my life story but to also find out about other women and their body issues and self-esteem issues in France, Italy, and Spain. My goal was to lose 100 pounds in a year, and I lost 112 pounds, and I was so excited. Came back to America. I was working with some of the best trainers. In fact, I was so motivated that I too got my certification in personal training because I wanted to understand more and help people and all. And I started noticing that I started gaining my weight back. And I was like, what's going on? You know, I'm doing everything right. I'm eating clean. I'm exercising like crazy. I'm doing this. This is my life. This is my life. And it wasn't until this past October that I found out that I have this condition called lipedema. I'm like, what are you talking about? At first, I thought she was saying lymphedema. I was like, well, I didn't have anything wrong with my lymph nodes or, anything. What is this? And they were slowly trying to explain it to me, and it really wasn't registering. All I knew is that I had big ankles, and I had all this fat above my knees, and I had all this loose skin on my upper arm, and it wasn't going anywhere. And no matter how many boxing routines and battle weights and sleds and all that, and no matter how many boiled eggs or grapefruit or keto diets or whatever, it just was not coming off. So I'm a very private person, even though I'm in the acting world.
Right.
But I wanted to open up and share that. I share my fitness with everybody because I think everybody should be fit no matter their size. That's my motto. No matter your size, be healthy, fit, and strong.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that, my parents are extremely healthy. My sister is extremely healthy. I need to get on that bandwagon, and that's what I've done for the past 10 years. But this lipedema has said, let's put a little extra challenge on you.
Right. Because
So
you're
when I
extra.
tagging,
Because you're extra.
yeah. So when I started hashtagging lipedema, I started finding incredible women like you. And I could not believe that there is actually a community of women who are dealing with the same thing I'm dealing with. Because I don't know how many doctors I've gone to, how many blood tests. Before I found out that I had lipedema, I had every test on the planet, and they kept telling me, you just need to lower your caloric intake. You need to go on this diet. You need to get bypass surgery. Everything was about you just gaining weight. And they didn't know or didn't care that I was working out.
Right.
They didn't believe me.
Right.
So it took a couple of special people that understood a little bit about lipedema who was able to diagnose me. Right off the bat, they could look at me and tell. And that was what was really interesting. And then they did more tests and found out that it was conclusive. So I'm just so excited that I've been able to find you all to be able to share my message. And I'm going to continue sharing as I'm in my compressions or my Velcro sleeves or getting into our pump machines, which you know about. And now I see you with the other machine where you kind of shake and jiggle. I can't wait to get that. So that's who I am today. And, my goal is to really get myself healthy and fit, but to help others on their journeys as well. And it's not just about lipedema, it's just about healthy and fit. But this is part of my journey, the lipedema, and I'm going to help as many people as I can to understand what it is and to share with them and to have them travel with me on this journey.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, this is such a common story. This is so, typical for the decades that it takes to get diagnosis and the renditions of how many, how many diets you've been on because, we can, so I think once you get to lipedema and you have the diagnosis and you digest it and all of that, then you find a way of eating that is going to suit you for the moment. It's going to suit you for the, as anti-inflammatory as possible for you, right? But
Right.
everybody has been on every diet that there has been, there until now. And because of that, I think that we don't like to, we realize we don't need to be on a diet anymore because that's not going to do anything for us. We just need to find a way of eating that minimizes the inflammation in our body because we know that a diet is not going to affect us like it would affect somebody else, because that lipedema fat is not going anywhere. It's
Right.
just, so yes, you can use a diet to reduce, your regular fat, but the rest of it is all about managing the pain, the mobility, the strength, all of that to make sure that it's, that you can function as best as you can for as long as you can.
Right.
Um, and then, you know, and then decide, which self-care, things are you going to do and what's going to help your body the best. That vibration plate for me is one of the only things that loosens my tissue. And the pool movement, water movement. Those are the two biggies. I've been dry brushing during this. I'm looking for it because I usually have it right here. Dry brushing during this lockdown, and that has done a big difference as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been, this month of June, I've been carnivore, well, up until Friday, I guess, Saturday. I made my son a Rice Krispie cake. Well, last week it was his birthday, and I literally had the size of my thumb piece of cake out of the corner of his cake. My nephew made him a unbelievable gluten-free, beautiful cake. And I told my nephew, if I gain a pound tomorrow, it's all your fault because I ate this one little thing. And sure enough, my scale was up a pound the next morning. So is that because it's mind over matter? So for me, I'm one of those that weighs every single day to see
Mm-hmm.
what did I eat, how did it affect me today, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And truly during this month, I was like, okay, it's going to just go down like really quick. And it did in the first week. I lost like 8 pounds. And since then, I fought with the 8 pounds, like up 3 pounds to down 1 pound, depending on the day. And so it's insane. So I'm giving up the scale for July. And that will be like the first time ever. I think, I don't even know. So that will be very interesting. And I will see, is there a change in the mind over matter or not? But on this weekend, my son had three friends over for an outdoor movie and celebrate his birthday, and I made a Rice Krispie cake, and I had to taste it. So it was just like, I can't. I was so pissed that I didn't have a piece the last weekend, and I was like, I just have to do it because what's the point? There's no point. It's not, in the scope of things to me. So I'm not in that place where I can be. I have been in it many times in a place where I am absolutely 100% perfection, but I'm not in that place right now.
I think what's really frustrating is the fact that, we have these foods that we try to watch, and it's really all about listening to your body, because there are certain foods that are extremely healthy that my body is like, no, you're not going to eat them. I have all kinds of responses that my body gives off, and I'm like, okay, what is it that you want? You know,
Right.
um, I can't eat the regular healthy diet anymore. And my body's not, it doesn't like a lot of carbs. It doesn't like oats and cereals or breads and stuff. And I'm a bread fanatic, you
Of
know,
course.
but I'm trying to adjust, which has been extremely frustrating.
Yeah.
And eating what the average person that's training would call clean, even that is not conducive to what my body can handle. I can
Right.
only burn 855 calories. That is not a lot at all for any human being.
Right. Right.
So, how do you function? How do you get through the day? And then to try to do the kinds of workouts that we're talking about, my body doesn't like to take any of those extra natural energy type vitamins and all. My heart's like, no, you have a sensitive heart. So you're going to have to gain your energy from other things. You're going to have to gain your energy from the sun, or you're going to have to gain your energy from getting your rest. I'm learning.
Or you're going to gain your energy from listening to New York Skate Queens playlist on Spotify. I just found her on TikTok. I just
Uh-huh.
learned I just learned on Tik I just got on TikTok about 3 weeks ago. And I used to roller skate in the day, and
Oh,
this girl is a New York skate queen, and she skates in her house, she
mm-hmm,
skates in her yard. She's like amazing, and she plays all these crazy good songs. And so
mm-hmm.
yesterday, I just happened to turn on TikTok, and she was on a live on TikTok, and she was talking about her Spotify. And I was like, "What is your Spotify?" And she's like, "Oh, I everybody keeps requesting my music, so I made a playlist." So right before we got on this morning, I started to listen to her playlist. And I was like, "Oh, this is energy for the morning." My God.
I hear,
Like, so
I hear
yeah,
you. I'm a
really
music fanatic, and I put my little headbuds in, and it's time to go and train. Especially, but my favorite thing to do is to box. I love
fun.
boxing, and I just like to tune out everything, get those
Mm-hmm.
earplugs in, and just go. And I also have some incredible trainers that I work with. Who there's one who he just goes hog wild, and we go hard. And there
Yeah.
is a crew, there's a team that he trains, and I've been watching them for the longest time, and I'm like, can I do that? Can I do that stuff? So I said, all right, I'm going to do it, because in my head, I'm like, I can accomplish these things. So he's one of the ones who really, really started me out in the beginning when I first started my journey. And he's like, Crystal, come on back. Come on back. And I want you to meet these girls that you've been admiring. And now, they encourage me. We go and we go hard. And I love them for it. I love the team. And then there's another trainer that I have who he's like, all right, I know you've been working hard with this one. Let me fix you. I call him the fixer, because that's basically what he has to do. He has to like kind of help all these arthritic legs and knees and everything to get back in shape after working out so hard. But you know what? Even at my age, I love it. I love This is what I do. I love fitness. And what's really difficult about that is loving fitness but can't physically see the results
Correct.
the way that I expect to see them.
Right, or the
And
way
I
that
think
other people, the way that you
really
see other people getting it. I mean, there's nobody that could spend this amount of time in the gym eating the same amount and have no result.
right,
You know, like
right.
that you can physically see. Certainly on the inside, underneath, those leg muscles, those arm muscles are just perfection, right?
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah. I've got muscles galore. Trust me, I'm pretty sure I got a six pack and I can
yeah,
lift and I go strong.
yeah,
But it's really frustrating when you want to show your six pack. My mom has a six pack, you know, she
right,
works out, of course, so I give her kudos. I just wish that, I could see my results. And I know that nobody's the same. I get it.
yeah,
But you want to see the results of your hard
right,
work. And not only
right,
that, it's a huge prejudgment when you're walking out there.
yeah,
In today's age, especially with what's going on right now with Black Matters,
yeah,
you can see that I'm a Black woman.
right,
You can also see that I'm a plus size Black woman.
right,
You
right,
could never see that, oh, she goes and she works out. She's eating right. Oh, she goes out there and she runs stairs, or she's doing the battle ropes, or she's pushing a sled, or she's boxing. I don't look like that.
right,
I don't
right,
look like I go and I grab the dumbbells or the barbells and hitting it up with guys in the gym. But that's what I do because that's what I love. And
right.
it's a shame that the results don't show. So what do you do?
Right. Right. Well, you bring up a really good point about the prejudgment. I feel, I go, well, not since COVID, but, I go to the gym
Mm-hmm.
regularly.
Mm-hmm.
And probably this school year, so since August, I walk in like I own the place. I don't ever second guess myself. I don't ever be like, oh, should I have my sports bra on, or do I need my big oversized t-shirt or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And I walk in like that, and like a lot of times in the very beginning I would be like, oh, I got to wear my sweatshirt in, and then I find, oh, well, where am I putting my sweatshirt, because I'm not going to get a locker for a sweatshirt, like that's ridiculous.
Mhm.
And so, okay, now, like, why do I have to walk in with this sweatshirt when I'm going to take it off when I go in? Like, because I was going to be covered, like, oh, I can't walk in like this because they're
Right.
going to think, who the hell is she walking in like that? What is she
Right.
wearing that for? And then I was like, heck no, who cares about that? Like, no, I'm going to go and this is what I'm going to wear. And, you know, and I don't ever get a second look, you know, maybe from I'm going to be really stereotypical right now, but maybe from the little old Asian ladies in the pool, maybe I get the look from them. They got out of their pool workout, they see me walk in, and they're like, yeah, maybe that. But other than that, no, because like whatever people can tell that you're serious and you can work with the best of them,
Right.
and so I don't know. It's difficult. This is not good. I hear my gardener. I had no idea. Can you hear it?
I can't hear it, so that's
Oh,
good.
okay. Good. Um, so yeah, so that it is, and that I think in my tags I was like, I put Black Girl Magic and Black Excellence, and it's because that is so exactly not stereotypical of you don't think of a plus size. Well, first of all, you don't think of a plus size girl as going to the gym anyway, because people just have that perception, right? But then add the plus size black girl, you're right, it's not the first thing that you think of. But
Not first thing
you show it down for sure.
it is, but they always look, okay, this girl's not going to be working out because she doesn't want to get her hair wet. If I don't sweat, I don't feel like I've accomplished anything. And trust me, when I go hard, my clothes are soaked. And I will tell you, when I first started going to the gym years ago, um, I would go in and be so intimidated. All the glassed out walls, everybody, all the cute, I call them Barbie dolls, would have their makeup on and, I'm like, there's no way I want to go in here. I was so intimidated. Today, just like you, I'm going in there with confidence. For most people who know me, they know I walk around in leggings. I'm that leggings girl. I'm the one that's going to be in tennis shoes and in a outfit ready to go. It's time to conquer because that's what I'm all about, you know. So I've even gotten to the point now where I'm actually going to try to design clothing to fit properly to go in there and work out because who wants to be big wearing sweatshirts like you said or big t-shirts and sweatpants or shorts and not feel comfortable? There are certain companies that are starting to come out now with things, but they still have a ways to go because either the crotch is not long enough or it's not covering the belly, or if it's covering the belly it's not covering the butt, and I got a big booty. So I need to know that when I'm going in there and I'm working out, I'm comfortable and I can go hard and I can sweat and I don't have any issues. So
Right.
that's why we're working on designing these things and making it comfortable, not just for plus size. Because I've talked to some smaller women who they don't like the back fat showing or the arm fat hanging. So we're listening to this and trying to make moves.
It's great. I mean, it's so needed, it's so I'm finding that there's a few active wear that really can work for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy because it's just showing that that the times are turning, whatever. But I have had plenty of times where I'll go to try and buy some kind of active wear, and it's like, who does this fit?
Right.
Who's wearing this? Because I mean, yeah, it just I don't know. I don't know who they're I don't know who they're modeling it after or which fit model is working on it or whatever. But that's another thing is that just in the modeling world, like that too, we need to get some diversity even in just in just fit, in fit models, So
Yeah.
it's kind of
Huge.
crazy. I've been
Huge.
stuck on these statistics that I learned last year, right before Fashion Week, and it was, September September 2019, and there was a whole this one weekend right before Fashion Week. There was, I think, Adi Lavalle was going to do his first historic walk for, and I totally always forget this part, some major fashion designer that was doing some, plus size male thing, and his Instagram got shut down right on Saturday before he walked on Monday
Wow.
because censorship is still alive and well and breathing on Instagram.
Yeah.
And so, and then I think the next day um, I got my picture from the Venice Beach shoot that I did for Body Positivity. I got
Mhm.
that picture shadow banned. And I was like, what? Like, how can you be body positive and you're shadow banned? Like, I don't understand. But I didn't know that Instagram has a skin algorithm. So, okay, I learned about that. Then
Mhm.
I think the same day, oh God, what's his name? Okay, never mind, forget that. There was Bill Maher. Bill Maher announced that we should return to fat shaming on his radio show that weekend.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, this is a thing. Like we're like, this is really something.
Mhm.
And then the statistics came out that 67% of women in the United States are a size 16 or above.
Mhm.
Yet 18% of the clothing manufactured is above a size 16.
Right.
So I said, wow, okay. I always knew, 50% of women are over a size 14. So I've had that statistic like my whole life.
Mhm.
And then the other thing was I think it's 2018, the number one Google search by men was plus size women. So this seems to be like there's a lot, right? And
Yeah.
I thought, wait a minute, if I go into my Macy's
Mhm.
department store,
Mhm.
about 18% of the store, probably not even that much, is the plus size women's department. So shouldn't that be reversed? Shouldn't all the regular size clothes should be in the plus size department and the rest of the store should be the rest?
It should, but here's the thing, because I've been doing plus modeling forever, and I have some exceptional agents, and the reason why they represented me is because they knew me, they knew how hard I work, they know how hard I work as an individual, so they were more than honored to represent me in the plus size world. But what's really crazy is clothes are made so that we can go look like that. So when you go into the stores and you're finding that 18% versus all the other clothes that are in there, this is what they want you to look like. So you're going to just, this is what the magazines show. This is what the TV and the movie theaters show because this is how they want you to look. Now, granted, I'm going to tell you, I think you already know being a plus model, that most of the designers don't even look like that. They don't look like the clothes that they make.
Right.
They're not the sizes. Models, the designers make clothes that actually fit the hanger. And the model needs to be able to fit the clothes, not the clothes fit the model. Get it?
Right. Right.
You know, it's really beautiful and refreshing to see that plus size is actually coming alive in the modeling world. It
Right.
really, Ashley Graham being like right in front, she's such an amazing lady. And there's so many other incredible plus size women that are coming on the forefront. And, we have a voice. We have a voice. And I don't want people to stop. I want people to stop and actually look at the fact that we're not just plus size women, we're plus size healthy women. There are a lot of us out there. We're not just sitting on the couch eating bonbons. we're actually getting up and we're moving. We're actually eating healthy. You know, we're trying to take care of not only our bodies, but our minds. And
Exactly.
because it is so hard for us to not only deal with getting the excessive weight off our body, but to hear the constant bashing of, like you said, fat shaming, constantly berating us because of what we look like, not knowing what's going on behind the scenes, not knowing that we're working hard. So I appreciate the people who step up for me, and I go out and I step up for others. You being a plus size woman and a model at that, it's commendable. It's commendable. It takes a lot of courage. You know, I post some of the pictures that I do for plus size modeling out there. Or at least not recently, I'll say it that way. But I'm going to start coming out more and more. You know, my agents are like, here, we got another one for you, we got another one for you. But I give you kudos. I give us
I
all
mean,
kudos.
you
Very thing.
know, I think you brought up a really good point, is that, we don't see it in the media,
Right.
and that's really what my take has been. Like, I will put myself out there now because I want, I don't want other people to have the same experience that I have, especially, the younger girls, and
Mm-hmm.
even women of a certain age. I I don't want anybody else to think that they're the only one. And I don't
Right.
want anybody else to think that um, they can't look good. Like, I mean, I have spent my whole life, regardless of my size, and I used to be way bigger, and I've been smaller. um, but I don't want anybody to think that they can't look good wherever they're at,
That's great.
because, and yeah, it takes a lot of work. My shape, I'm looking at the time too. My shape is not, I can't walk. I'm not a fit model. I mean, I should be a fit model now so
Yeah.
that we can get some, curves to fit, but although I do have to say, in the past few years, probably about the past 4 years, I find it easier to actually find something that will fit, that I don't have to immediately go get tailored. But I go into a dressing room and I take a good 30 things with me, and if I walk out with two, it's a good day.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that kind of tenacity and hit and miss, and so it doesn't just happen overnight that I walk in, and I can't even imagine if you walked into the store and something just fit you. I mean, I can't even imagine that. I haven't really thought about that. Other people really don't have to spend the amount of time that I do to go shopping, but it's work.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily I enjoy it. You know what I mean? Luckily I go, I see what looks like, and then what's gonna fit, and what's gonna fit the way that I want it to.
Right.
And the thing is that one of the other lipedema women. So I had thought, this is my thing. I want people to be able to see, because we have never been shown on a regular basis. We have never been shown people in the media, and still
Right.
till this day, we're not shown anybody. Uh, I mean, I don't think there's anybody that looks like me that's been in movies. I don't think.
Well, here's the thing. I mean,
You know, I,
there are plus size people, but this is one thing that was told to me too. The reason why I
yeah,
didn't get the role, I have a
yeah,
lean face and a character body because I have a very small face. You don't see a
yeah,
lot of fat in my face, but I have a
yeah,
character body.
yeah,
Most plus size women play the side, the friend, or the best
right.
friend, or the.
Sure, right,
They're not stepped up as the lead. Melissa McCarthy is finally doing that. However, she lost a lot of weight. Chrissy, I
right.
can't remember her last name on
This is us.
yes, you
Yeah.
know, and she gets a lot of criticism. But the thing
Of
about
course,
who who's going to take that risk?
right. No, but I'm even saying, like, so, like, even that, so that's like your standard plus size woman, right? Like, they're gonna, those, what's her name, Rebel, like, they're gonna walk in, they're gonna be able to go, or what's her name? Oh my God, I'm totally blanking anything. they're going to walk in, they're going to fit in anything that's produced, right? Because
Right.
they're fit model size, just a different, maybe a different number than whatever is a fit model, right?
Mhm.
Um, but you don't ever see a curvy woman. You don't
No.
ever see somebody like me,
No.
who's curvy. You don't
No.
see that. And so I want to get across, like, it's okay. You can be curvy. We're out there. There are people that look like this out there.
Right.
Um, and then somebody brought up one of the lipedema women. I'm sorry, I'm not giving you credit because I can't remember who it is. They pointed out that, so I always thought we don't see it in the media. We've never seen it. Like, this is why it's so unfamiliar, because we just don't see it in the media, any kind of
Mhm.
media. But then somebody pointed out that we don't even see it in the streets, because if we're at the grocery store and the lady next to us has on wide leg pants, because she could be even a size 4, and
Mhm.
she has lipedema because she has those straight calves. You don't see that because she's not wearing Daisy Dukes.
Mhm.
She's not exposing herself. Um, and certainly, as you get bigger, then you're all covered up and you're not showing anything because, my God, who would do such a thing? And
Right.
so I hadn't really thought about that we're not even seeing each other in person
Mhm.
around town. Like, we're not, and so I'm even guilty of it, because I've had, over the past 4 years, yesterday a memory came up on my Facebook of, I was at the beach in Solana Beach. I used to live there. And I was in my bathing suit. Well, my bathing suit then, 4 years ago, was a tankini top and like long split pants. And that
Okay.
was what I wore to the beach. Now,
Mhm.
maybe underneath, I then had man's board shorts that came to my knees in case, God forbid, I had to go in the water, but I never did that. And
Yeah.
so it wasn't until the next year that I took my son to get um, surf lessons from a friend. And I had learned, actually, on that very same trip, I had learned that this woman came from Arizona with her son. And she's like, "Can we borrow your boogie board? My son's never been to the beach. I just drove him here from Arizona. It's his birthday." And I thought, wow, I live in LA now, because I used to live in Solana Beach, was like 2 miles to the beach.
Mhm.
Then here, we hadn't really gone to the beach since we had moved back. And I thought, wow, my kid lives like 20 miles from the beach and we never go. Like, that's it. So I changed life that summer. We went to the beach
Good.
all the time. And one
Good.
of the first times we went to the beach, I had a dress that I'm wearing to the beach. And I'm with one of the kids, my friend's kid, while he's teaching my son. I'm with the kid. She's having a moment. She's in the sand. She's having a breakdown. So I get on the sand, never sat on the sand before in my life, probably, in just a dress in the wet sand. There I am. And now a wave comes and overtakes us. So I'm
Mhm.
sopping wet. And my son comes and he sees me and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I go, "Well, I guess we have to go in now." And he had never been in the water with me. And he's like, I don't know, 7 years old. And so he's like, "You're going to go in the water?" Well, yeah. And so the girl that I was with, she's like, what's the big deal?" And I was like, "Oh, Willem's never seen me in the water." And she's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Yeah, I've never been in the water since he's, been born. I always sit on the." She's like, "What?" And so that summer changed everything. And then I was like, you know what? I can't be going in these man's board shorts because this looks really stupid. So
Uh-huh.
then I switched to wear up the yoga shorts. And that was what, because that wasn't going to be offensive. It was going to cover my whole thigh
Mhm.
and, whatever. And then I graduated last summer. By the end of the summer, I was wearing a bikini top and the yoga shorts.
Okay.
And, nobody died that day that I went to the beach the first time. Nobody had a heart attack because they were like, "Oh dear God, get her off the beach." And it was all fine. And so who knows, maybe I did the photo shoot at Venice, walked in my bikini from the streets to the beach, and there was nobody died again, nobody fell out, nobody
Right.
screamed obscenities, and so who knows, maybe if I ever go to the beach this summer, maybe I'll wear the bikini to the beach, I mean, but it's all progress, right?
Wear it. Wear the bikini to the beach, and it'll
Mhm.
help others to want to come out
Mhm.
too and feel more
Mhm.
comfortable. We've got to get to the point where we can't even think about what other people are thinking anymore because they don't know.
Right.
Until you walk in these shoes, don't say anything. That's my
The
theory.
day,
But you go
the
ahead and
day
do your thing.
the day I had the bikini top, now I go in the water, and I haven't had a bikini top on in 100 years at the ocean. And so my son sees a young man who was a big guy, and he had, the kind of body where he's eaten a lot of soy and it has affected his chest. And
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, mom, you're worried about you're in a bikini top?" He's like, if it falls off, it's not gonna, because I'm like, what if the wave takes you? He's like, it's not gonna matter because that other guy is fine how he is. So you'll be okay. It's like, oh my Lord. like,
That's
like,
hilarious.
like, what's good for one is, like nobody's gonna care, mom. I was like, oh my Lord.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I think that you're right. I think the times are changing. I think we're going to learn here more about lipedema. More things are going to get, uh, there's the education is coming. We're gonna all keep on our bandwagons and making sure that our communities know, for you in the Black community, this is like you know, I'm sure has been for eons of generations, but nobody knows yet. It is such a slim number that is a word that really has to get out, because there are others like you who are like, why can't I friggin' lose this? I'm
That's
doing everything that I can.
that's one thing that I've noticed is that in this lipedema community that I've been hashtagging and following you all, I have not noticed a lot of Black women.
Yeah, and
So
it's rampant. It's absolutely rampant, and it's
yeah,
just about there is so little education and diagnosis.
right.
It's crazy. Um, and the diabetes thing, that's common, right, within the Black community.
Hmm.
But it is not necessarily common within the lipedema community because people have been doing so many healthy things their whole lives, right?
Right.
However, I think Dr. Herbst just said um, last week, I think it was. I think she just said that when you have lipedema and you add overweight with it, you are. I think we probably have 1 minute.
Okay.
You are at a higher risk for developing these metabolic conditions, and so okay, it makes sense, right? It makes total sense. Um, but we got work to do.
We got work
I
to
mean,
do.
we got work to do. We got work to do on the educational lipidem. We got work to do on the fitness. We got work to do on the plus size community. We got work to do in the clothes. Let me know if you need me to come to do a fit, to be a fit model for you, because,
Girl,
we,
there you
we
go.
need that,
Thank
you
you.
know?
And thank you for having me on today. I greatly appreciate it.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And keep us, you'll have to come back once you do the launch and let us know what's really
I'll
going
let
on.
you know, that's a whole nother entity. My sister and I have a startup tech company that we're about to launch. Fresh Meat You. It's about to come out for creatives. Creatives, it's time to be
I love
creative.
it. I love it. Yeah. So I want to hear all about it. Maybe we'll do that sometime in July. You'll have
That'd be great.
minutes that you can talk about it. Okay,
That'd be great. Thank
fantastic.
you so much, Beth.
So thank you so much. Have a great day. Happy Model Monday.
Yeah. Out on Monday, you look lovely.
Thank you. Gorgeous as always. And I will talk to you again. Oh, see, perfect timing. The timer came up. See ya.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.